Lenna Weidman.
Yeah?
I started filming you, seeing what you're doing in this studio. So maybe you can explain what this studio is and what you are doing.
So right now, I am putting away a couple of my dad's works. These are original hand-screened, limited edition, signed silk screens that he did between 1963 and 1979. These are 1977 is the copyright year on this one. This is a handmade print. These are for a particular customer who I am waiting to hear back from, but she saw those particular ones and she wants those, so I am just putting them in a safe place while I work on somebody else's order so that I can readily access them later. So these have to go somewhere else. I think what I'm going to do is put them back on top of these folders. These folders hold most of the portfolio, most of the titles and categories. So my dad printed in this space. This used to be a carport before it was a studio, and he closed it in. Built a simple house. And so this room houses the whole archive of all the prints that he made, and these are considered originals. They're not. So we don't have a lot of space, so things get stacked pretty high. So what I'm looking for is a piece he did called Bridge. Sometimes I call it Big Bridge. And we don't have a lot of them left. And I have a customer who wants one, but I have to see what my inventory is before I let him know if he can have one or not, because once we get down to too few of them, I have to stop selling them. So not all of them are saleable. That's a real problem. And I have to figure out which ones are saleable, which ones are not. Okay, so here's the rest. This is all the rest of them. This edition was a small edition, only 200 prints. And these are all that are left from the 200. I'm going to need to dust that off, so I need to get something to do that with. And that. So limited editions for the most part are numbered, which means each print has a distinct number, which means each print is distinct. And that's true of handmade prints. There are really no two that come out exactly alike, because it's not a machine that's making them. But my dad was not a bookkeeper or a record keeper, so what happened was he might start numbering an edition. He might not write down what numbers he had used, or he might. And I had to go back and figure it out, which numbers I could use, and then I started keeping a record, and that's the record for the whole portfolio. This is just a kind of creases, so it makes it very hard to keep them pristine. You know, so sometimes it's a matter of degree, and if something is outside of the frame where the mat would cut in, I don't count it as a flaw usually. The other thing he did, well, sometimes he trimmed them afterwards, which you're not supposed to do, but he did everything his own way, so he did how he wanted to. He was the artist, so he has the right. Now, this has a problem right there, and I don't know what to do with this one. What category is this? So these are kind of questionable, these two. They're borderline. If they were framed up, they'd be fine. Now this one is a real problem. So somebody cleaned it up by putting white out. Well, I can't sell that. Unless somebody wants a discounted, you know, and they know it. They have to know what it is. It's kind of damaged. I'm looking for an eraser. Ah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so this should probably be, these are like seconds. And they should be sold as seconds. And if somebody wants a discounted print, they just have to be told what the flaws are. But otherwise, it's still a beautiful piece. Colors are good. All the screens are clear and clean. And it looks great. So this is a different situation. If you're a collector, you don't want that one. You know, it's really unfortunate. Sometimes you can press the crease out with a it's a mounting press, but sometimes you can't. It depends on the paper. Some papers recover well. It has to do with the fibers in the paper, and some don't. Unfortunately, this is not great paper. Unfortunately, most of his papers were really nice. So I'm gonna have to put this one in the seconds pile because of those bad creases. And again, it's a beautiful print. Everything else is perfect. You know, but I can't do anything about those. Okay. So I found a really unique one of these. I'm gonna put it aside because I will put it in a special place. So this one has a really different green. So the thing to understand is when you're making prints by hand and you're mixing your colors by hand and you're experimenting, which is what he did all the time, the colors are not going to always be the same, especially you run out of a color in the middle of a run. So I don't know if this was an earlier green or a later green, but it's brighter and it's more opaque than the others. And if I hold it up right next to another one here, I'll hold them up kind of towards your light there. Like this, you see the difference. The other one's more translucent and it's not as bright. And this, on this one, I love the little lights, the night lights of the city, because it's so bright, it really stands out and looks sparkly. So anyway, I'll put that one aside for now and not sell it because it's different. But you know, all the runs, all the editions have variations in them. Some are just more extreme than others. And I'm still going through this bag, and then there's one more bag, and then we'll see. But you know, every time you pull something out, you don't know what you're going to find. Might be good news or bad news.